Hey guys, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video. Now this one, I have shared this engine on the channel once before, but that was a while ago and I think I've probably got about 300 plus subscribers since that video. So I thought, I want to share it again, and I brought it up in one of the live videos that I get involved in on the weekends, and everyone seemed to be really interested, and I thought, you know what, let's just get it up on the channel again. I'll share what it is and go into how it works, and then we're going to run it too. So without further ado, let's spin the camera around. We will get you looking down at this. We'll talk about how it works, then we'll fill it up with some fuel, and then we'll get into starting it. It's so simple, yet in that simplicity is where that beauty lies, I suppose. Really, all it is you have a couple of counterweights and they are held together with a spring. So the tension of this spring will determine the speed of which this engine runs. And what happens is as you spin the flywheel, the counterweights want to rotate out, or sorry, lean out due to centrifugal force. And these counterweights are connected to what we call the latch finger. As the engine rotates, you can see there's a cam that's coming up for the exhaust. If I just take that pressure off, you see there's a cam here. That cam pushes on this push rod here. You'll see it come around. Pushes on the push rod, and that does two things. It opens the exhaust, but it also allows this latch finger to grip onto what we call the latch block here. It's a bit overexposed, but hopefully you can still see it. So as the weights go out, it wants to push this finger forwards, and that finger can finally catch the latch block when this cam pushes the push rod forwards. It will grip it, and it will actually hold itself in place like this and hold the exhaust open. So until that exhaust closes, you're not going to get any compression, and thus you're not going to get a power stroke. Essentially, it's just freewheeling. It will freewheel for... It can do 5, 6, 7 seconds in real life. This does about 4 seconds. And as the RPM decreases and these weights come back together, what happens is it pulls this latch finger down off the latch. If I move forward, it pulls it down off that latch block, and eventually it will let go. And that then gives the opportunity for the push rod to come back. It's then creating compression. It will then fire because we've closed the exhaust here. It will then fire and it will repeat that process again. As that cam comes round, exhaust opens. At the time the exhaust opens, the latch finger comes forwards, it can catch the latch block and it can hold it open. So it essentially repeats that process. This is a wasted spark system, but you have lots of different styles of governing, and there's too many to mention here, but this just so happens to be governed by the resistance of the spring. Some are governed by the spark. And it really is, as I said, in its simplicity is where that beauty lies. So what we'll do, we'll start it up, and I've literally just filled it up with some fuel, and this is just Motor Mix. It's an alkalite fuel with 2-stroke oil in it, and that's what I run on here. Traditionally, they would have grease ports where you'd squeeze grease into to grease the bearings, but this system doesn't have it, so I just generally spray a little bit of oil on there, and I run some 2-stroke oil in the top end. So that's all filled up, that's tight, that's on. And it might take me a few, let me see where this screw is set. Let's give it a bit extra fuel. Might take me a few starts, it hasn't been started in a while. We'll start with the top-down view, and you'll be able to see this whole mechanism working, and I'll talk you through it as it's running. Give it a couple of those, ready. Oh, first time! I'll close the fuel because it's going to run a bit rich. So, you see the latch finger is slowly sliding away from the latch block here. As the RPM slows down, these weights are going to come together. On its side, it's not happy. There we go. And then it will fire because it closes the exhaust port. So we'll go through a whole routine. It's going to build up compression, free wheels. As RPM slows down, counterweights come together, latch finger comes off the latch block, and then it allows the exhaust valve to close. It closes that, creates compression, fires, and repeats that process over and over again. Let's change angle. watch how that rocker works with the exhaust valve. It's sitting underneath it, so you can't see it overly clearly. You get a good view of how the latch finger works there. See how it's catching on? And here you can see how the counterweights and the latch part are connected there, right in the middle of your screen. Really, it needs a bit of a tune. I'll tweak the fuel supply. And of course, as the latch block lets go of the latch finger there, that cam for the exhaust comes into play. The whole time that latch finger holds the block forward though, it's literally just tapping it, touching it. It's not actually functioning. It's about to die. So this whole time, now it's freewheeling, it's going to fire now. Oh, it just died. Let me pop you back up here. I just need to tweak that air fuel screw. It's just literally this one screw that this has that allows you to run it. But let's do it again. It's probably running just a tiny touch rich. Just give a bit of a tweak there. So if you keep an eye on here, you can see how that latch finger pivots. Still a bit rich. We certainly don't need that much fuel. Such a simple, delightful mechanism or governing system. And in that is, as I said, the elegance and where this sort of design lies. But let's just see. We're certainly running a touch rich. We don't need that much fuel. Now we've gone the other way. Just a touch more. It's really running just, I've got it right on the point where it's too slow. They can't quite build up compression. They can't quite fight against the compression that builds up. You can see how slow, there you go, and it backfired. So that's it, that's the way it works. It's not something we have nowadays, but you can go onto YouTube, type in hit and miss engine, and you can see how these were used, and lots of people have the original engine where you can see the full size and again, a slightly different method of governing, which in itself is really lovely too. So let's finish this video off. I'll just spin the camera around and we'll have a quick chat. So there we go. It is great. It just, every time I get it off the shelf, it makes me smile. But yeah, definitely check them out. Get onto YouTube and have a quick look because you can see how they're used. There's one beautiful video of an old, I think it's a box making mill or video, and you can see the engine outside is connected to all the internal or inside equipment inside the workshop via big belts, and it's just fascinating. Nothing's changed from the way it was used as a box making company, I guess. And they've got a wonderful, I think it's a hit and miss. Maybe it's not, but I'm fairly confident it is. They were used on farms a lot, processing plants, very common. And yeah, I just wanted to bring this one back on the channel. I thought I'd share it with anyone that's new, that's just joined. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Ask any questions you have in the comment section. If I didn't explain it very clearly, I'll try again. And nonetheless, have a great day, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye.